So you guys know we love doing math in this show, so let's crunch some numbers. If you've got 43 million Americans with $1.3 trillion in student debt, and more than 7 million haven't paid their bill in the last year, well, what's that add up to? Well, Jonathan says just another major taxpayer bailout. Jonathan, it's crazy.
Yeah, get ready, Charles. I mean, listen, what government has done for housing, they've also done for student loans. I mean, just how housing gave us the subprime and the Community Reinvestment Act, this government involvement in education has given us billions and billions of dollars worth of student loans that will go bankrupt. And you remember how during the financial crisis they said, oh, well, don't you care about homeowners in need? That led to those bailouts. We're going to hear the same thing about students. And it's not just the money gone down the drain, it's the education as well. These kids are graduating with terrible educations and hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
You know, Scott, I think that's a great point. Housing, student loans, I mean, medical bills will be next, auto loans will be next. When does this stop?
Well, it doesn't, according to Hillary and Bernie. I mean, it just keeps going around and around. And Jonathan's right. You know, it's predatory lending at its best. I mean, since the government got involved in the student loan market and effectively took it over, student loan debt has gone to the moon. So they're totally complicit in this issue. And I think going forward, the left wants to get Americans dependent. They want control. And the way to do it is by promising paybacks of this stuff and take away success, the drive that every American has, because the government's going to take care of you.
You know, Julie, I mean, and Hillary's gone all Bernie on this thing, right? So we're talking about even more of this stuff. Over $1 trillion. It could be a couple trillion by the time she's elected.
I don't know what the solution to this is because of the rate we're going. The only people who afford college are people who have a lot of money. I mean, I'm thinking for my son, I'm planning $100,000 a year,
at least
by the time he gets to college. That's insane. Most people can't. Not most. I mean, 99% of the people in the world can't afford it.
Although the rates come down, if government gets out of the way and there's more responsibility.
You may be right about that, but the problem here is that, again, if government gets out of the way and you have banks lending the way banks traditionally lend, they lend at a higher interest rate, and at that point,
here's the thing, Charlie, a bank won't give someone a $100,000 a year loan and get a poetry degree. See, that's where the responsibility is.
They did before the financial crisis. Now they won't because of all the. Here's what I would say: the Obama administration, the federal government should do to the schools what they did to the banks and go after them and charge them with fraud for predatory lending. Because here's the thing: the reality is this. Banks gave loans to people who couldn't pay it back, knowing they probably couldn't pay it back, but they knew they were guaranteed by Fannie and Freddie and the federal government. They get put into would get put into mortgage bonds. My point is, the federal government, if you really want to make this work,
Charlie, you want to give more guns to not go after schools. The problem here is ideological. Let me just make the point.
No, let me finish my point.
Yeah, you want to shake them down. We get it.
I want the schools to be held responsible for giving crappy liberal educations for kids who can't get a job.
It's liberal. Charlie,
when Harvard pays up, they'll start giving people good education.
Guys, hold on one second. I want to bring Heath in on this. It would be great, though, to see someone like Harvard with $45 billion maybe fund these educations. They say it's so great. Heath, the last word to you, please.
I'm probably the only one on this panel that's still paying back that student loan. And by the way, as much as I would love the government to go ahead and pay for that, I have to pay that back. I mean, the fact that Charlie says that we should go after the schools and accuse them of predatory lending. Listen, I took out that loan for that very expensive education. It's my responsibility. It was up to me to take that loan out.
And maybe they gave you a crappy education.
If you think Columbia journalism is a crappy education, then...
Excuse me? What school?
Okay, so I'm going to go after Columbia.
We're going to leave it there. No, we're not talking about it. Listen, by the way, Heatha, you're only paying it back because you like to do the slow route. We know if you wanted to, you could write a check tomorrow. Hey, guys, thanks very much. You all were fantastic, especially Heatha, Julie, and Charlie. Stocks to pay off that debt. Next.